Should the Lions find a quarterback in the draft or the offseason? Yes. I'm going to say yes. I want to draft the quarterback. And I know a lot of people say, no, we got to wait till 2023. No, I want to draft a quarterback. It doesn't have to be the first round. It doesn't have to be. I like Desmond Ridder. I think he could be a second-round draft pick. I do. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I've been looking at some of the quarterbacks, and if we don't really take one in the third round, I don't want to take one beyond the third round. But there's some guys that, like a Ridder, like you said, that could be a target for the Detroit Lions, a kid that can run, throw. He can do a lot of things for you. And they definitely have to look at that position because, God, is it awful right now. It's just awful. So, yeah, take one.
Should the Lions take Kenny Pickett at 27? Well, right now we're at the 23rd pick, overtime 3-3. But with our second first-round pick, Mark, take Kenny Pickett?
I have to look at him a little bit more, man. I wouldn't mind taking a safety or a wide receiver at that spot. That's where I'm kind of headed right now. I could change my tune. I change it every week, man. It feels like, but Kenny Pickett is a guy that is definitely on the radar. But right now, I'm thinking safeties or possible wide receiver.
I'm with you. I think safety, wide receiver. I really like Jordan Battle. I'm sure he would be available there. Yep. Drake London. Maybe Chris Olave falls there. I don't know. But I think getting that safety and wide receiver position would be nice. I think that's it. And then, it just depends who's there. But I really want to solidify those positions. I have not dove into draft prospects analysis. But what top prospects have former injuries that we should be leery of? How about Carson Strong? His knee, 3 times he's had surgeries on that knee. Now he has a strong arm, but man, oh man, 3 surgeries on a knee, that gets you scary. That's a big one. I know a lot of people like Carson Strong, but I'm leery of a player with 3 surgeries on one knee. If I miss your question,
that's exactly.
Repost it. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was thinking the same thing, Mike. When I read that, I thought of Carson Strong right away, man. 3 surgeries, he has the big arm, but he is not mobile whatsoever. He's a pocket passer, and to be honest with you, I don't want a pocket passer in Detroit anymore. So it would be a guy that could slip really far in this draft because of that knee and because he's not a mobile guy.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't like injured players. This is something I've been talking about on my channel for freaking ever. It's the best abilities available. We just talked about with Deshaun Hand. Win or lose, would you rather get the first pick or first win and potentially lose the first pick? First win, man. I want to win. I do not want to go 0-16-1. Yeah, I know that may hurt us in the draft. Too. I want to win. Mark?
We can get away with, I think, 1 win right now. We can get away with a win. We're not going anywhere. We're still not going to fall. We have I think right now I seen a graph that we're 77% chance of having the first round pick already overall. Yep. So I think even if we win, I think we're still fine.
I got it. This is not a question, but I'm going to make a question from Raw Detroit. Would you guys rather have a dual threat quarterback or the prototypical pocket passer? Pocket passer, PP, dual threat, DT. Dual threat, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a running quarterback. We're talking about like an Aaron Rodgers, a Justin Herbert, a Russell Wilson. These guys are dual threat quarterbacks. We're not just talking about a guy that just runs, like a Lamar Jackson. We're talking about dual threat, or do you want that big, strong-arm Stafford type of quarterback? I'm curious to see what you guys think. I want the dual threat. That is me. I think that is something that the Lions needed to help the running game out. And when the play is breaking down, Mark, they can get out there and extend it.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, we need a guy that can do both, that can run, get out of trouble. Just like you said, when the play breaks down, Jared Goff goes nowhere. He spins into a sack. He's not a mobile guy. Sick of it, man. I want to see a guy that can get out of trouble and move those chains. Instead of making it 2nd and 17, you get out of trouble and you make it 2nd and 6. At least you get a couple of yards, you got out of trouble. So I want that dual threat guy who can move the chains and do a little bit of both, man. Run and throw.
Don Burr, I like Sam Howell as well. I do like Sam Howell. He's a good quarterback. Yeah. And now we're seeing here, straw poll looks like nearly 100% dual threat quarterback. I think that's what you need in Detroit. I truly do, man. I think you got to have, though, a player that's not just a dual threat, but he's got to have that bravado. He's got to have that swagger, too. Something that Detroit needs, because you got to be a different type of individual to play in Detroit, and especially be the face of the franchise, Mark, because we have a losing record. I think you got to have that swag.
Oh, yeah, you got to have a guy that has some swagger. People look at Jared Goff, you don't really see the swagger. Like, you don't see a confident kid. Yeah. I don't see the confidence in him. I see a kid that's already defeated already. It looks like he wants his way out of there. He's not complaining or anything like that from what I hear, but he just looks defeated. He's got no swagger. He's got no confidence. I want a guy that's going to come in here, maybe run his mouth a little bit, but in a good way, and just have a swag to him, man. Just have a strut. So that's what we need over here in Detroit, man.
We got, who is Battle Kid better than London? Jordan Battle is a safety. To me, he's the second best safety in the draft. You got Kyle Hamilton, number 1. Kyle Hamilton's top 5 draft pick. This guy's a stud. And I know a lot of people want to get defensive end, but I tell you what, man, you got to look at Kyle Hamilton, Notre Dame. He brings the punch to the face. So Jordan Battle is a very good safety. Very, very good safety. Would love to have him in the back end of the Lions defense. Drake London is a fantastic wide receiver out of USC. Big body, 6'5", contested catch. The guy is exactly what we need on this offense, something that we don't have. We don't have that. We lost that when we lost Kenny Galladay, and I think he's better than Kenny Galladay. I think this guy could be very good for whoever's quarterbacking this football team, Mark.
Yeah, Drake London, man, he reminds me a lot of a Mike Evans. You know, he's going to be a nice red zone threat. He can get up and get the ball. He has a great catch radius, 6'5", 210, 215 pounds. And he's just a specimen. So he'd be a perfect fit for the Detroit Lions. I love him.
Sam says you're fooling yourself if you think any of these rookie quarterbacks will play better than offense than Jared Goff. Well, look, Jared Goff right now is ranked 36 out of 32 starting quarterbacks. You notice that there's 32 teams. Right now, Jared Goff's playing awful. So if a quarterback in this draft cannot play better than that, they're not worthy to be drafted and probably till the 6th round, every single quarterback. I mean, for sure, Mike. And we're not saying that a rookie's going to come in here right away and just start. It's just start, man. Goff is probably Goff's team next year. You know, it is going to be
contract. We're kind of binded to it. But there's no harm in grabbing a rookie quarterback and have him sitting. And I'm not saying learning behind Jared Goff, but just sitting.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And again, you don't have to invest a high draft pick in it. But to me, you cannot come back next season with these 3 quarterbacks. We know Jared Goff's coming back, so we know he's coming back. But you can't come back with Tim Boyle and David Blau and say, hey, Lions fans, this is our 3 quarterbacks. I think Lions fans will freaking riot. I think if you come back with the same 3 quarterbacks, hey, and you want to know what? I've been saying get Marcus Mariota in free agency. I wouldn't mind him being back there. But we got to have something other than what we have seen this year. We already know Jared Goff's coming back. I'm not debating that. He is coming back. His contract, he is coming back. And I have no problem with that. But drafting a quarterback, I think, would be very beneficial for the Detroit Lions. We got 10 picks right now, and guess what? Quarterback is a need for this football team. It is. Wide receiver, safety, quarterback. I mean, you look at a linebacker, edge, and in all honesty, it definitely looks like we're going to go edge with that first pick. And the second pick, probably wide receiver or safety. So just go from there. Yeah, 10 picks this year as of right now. If we get the conditional 3rd-round pick for Kenny Galladay, a conditional pick for all the players we got, that is the projected. If you go to PFN, Pro Football Network, that's how much they give us. That's how much you get. Let's see. I'm done with the pocket.
12.
What's that?
We would have had 12, but we gave 2 away for Trinity Benson.
Jeff Berg says, any thoughts on Marcus Mariota? Yeah, here's my thoughts. He has talent, and I think I'd like him as a backup. He's a dual-threat quarterback. He does got a big arm. his is injury history. But as a backup, you're not going to be in every single game. So if you've seen what he did with the Vegas Raiders, that's kind of like to bring him over here and do. I see no problem with that. And it's not going to cost a lot of money. And he's not old. Sure. He's not like he's some old guy. So I think he'd be solid. I think he'd be solid. Raw, that's what losing us games, not 6 consecutive penalties. It's the pocket passing that loses us games, not horrible. Let's see. What we come in here saying? I don't know. Folks, again, if you got questions, do hashtag Lions, hashtag OnePride. Just do a hashtag so I can see it. So I see there's questions in there without it, but it's really difficult for me to decipher if it is a question or not. Just throw it in the comment section, and we will see. Who are potential free agent targets? I love this question, Paul, and I can't wait to start making videos on this here in a couple weeks. I think you look at the wide receiver class, Mark, these got to be, you look at Gallup. I think he's a target. You can look at Mike Evans. These guys, the top wide receivers, should be targets. Now, I made a video where Davante Adams potentially coming to the Lions. I don't see that happening. I see Davante Adams following Aaron Rodgers. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl. He's getting older. He's not like he's some young guy, and he is a solidified number 1. Would I love to have him? Yeah, man. The guy's talented, but I think the Detroit Lions need to target the top wide receivers in free agency, Mark.
Yeah, they definitely do, 100%. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher to get those guys over here, though. Maybe you can get a Michael Gallup. He's kind of been the lost guy in Dallas. He's got a lot of talent, man. He can run, he can catch, he can get up, get the ball. Very underrated wide receiver. Like you said, I think a guy like Davante Adams and maybe a Mike Evans, they're going to be a little bit hesitant coming over here right now. Don't know if those guys want to be a part of this build. You never know, though. You throw a bag at them, man. You just never know. So definitely wide receiver needs to be top priority or high priority anyways.
Yeah, and I really do think it's going to be addressed. I don't think this is just from my perspective. We just want to get it. If you look at what Brad Holmes has done, literally we traded for Trinity Benson. We've got Josh Reynolds. They tried getting Brashad Perryman and Tyrell Williams. It looks like this is going to be probably their number 1 target, is getting a legitimate wide receiver to slow down the fury right now of not the fan base, but, man, this offense is cheeks, and it has to do with a lack of talent on the outside. Get a really good wide receiver in free agency. Throw the Brinks truck at him. I don't care. We need weapons on the outside. So that would be what look for.